Right, today I'm going to help you to strike the ball a lot better and get a better consistency on impact but also on control. It's called line of compression. So come on, let's go do it. Okay, so what is line of compression? Okay, line of compression is basically how my right arm, when I'm at impact, lines up with the back of the shaft. So my right arm lines up with the back of the shaft here, all right? And that's going to be a very powerful way to hit the golf ball, all right? So this is the line of compression, all right? So how my right arm lines up with the back of the ball. It's quite an important part to work on. Especially if you want to hit the ball powerfully and have control of it as well. From a front-on view, so as I put myself into impact, so my left hip is pushing back, that's the line of compression. So it's not a straight line. My hand, the handle of the club is actually leaning forward, pointing towards my left hip, but you can see how my right arm is lining up the back of the ball. I'm in a strong, if I get into the impact position here, I'm in a strong position and what we call compression of the ball, all right? So it's really important that you learn to master this and practice this. And you can practice it with ease, but it's an important part of any sport. If I was to play, trusty old tennis racket again, if I was playing tennis, okay, or any other sport, my right arm, as I play the shot, so I'll go from up to under, my right arm would always line up to the back of the, or in back of the racket here, okay? Because the reason why this is because force is, the ball is going to be hitting here with force, okay? I'm going to be adding strength and compression behind that and force to offset that, because that's gonna, if I don't have that, if my racket arm was high here, I wouldn't have the control, okay? But putting this behind here, I've got the control to hit the ball. It's the same as if I was playing baseball. I'd hold it up here, I'd put that behind there to hit, to take the force of the oncoming ball as it hits the bat. Okay, so it's all you do in other sports, table tennis, other racket sports. You'll be doing exactly the same thing. So it's really, really important that you understand that feel, and it's really important that you get a feel for that when you're doing it. We don't like positions, okay, as such. There's only really one position, which is impact, and this is all part of impact. So this is the one area that you can really work on, but you're going to work it in a feel motion rather than sort of a static feel as such. All right, so that's what we're going to sort of teach you to do. I like it. It helps me compress the ball a lot better. I get a lot more shaft lean, as we call it. I can really sort of line up behind it because it gives me strength, okay, at the impact point. As I'm hitting the ball, that's going to have a lot of force coming back this way, and I'm going to try and compress that. All right, it's a natural way to do it, because if I was to fall, okay, and I was to fall over this way, my right hand would line up to take that force, okay, so it would line up to take that. I wouldn't land on my back of my hand or wrist, or that. If I did that, I'd probably break my wrist. So it's very important that you understand that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hit the back of the ball and line this up with the shaft to help to create or to control that force that the boys are giving me. All right, so that's what line of compression is, and that's what I want you to be thinking about and working on from this week's video, is to create and feel that line of compression. All right, it's going to really improve your golf. Please remember to like and subscribe to this video, and also hit that little bell down the bottom there, just going to let you know when I release a new one. How do we train this, okay? How do we practice this and get good at this? And it's all about creating the right feel. You know, I said earlier about, we don't really want to be static, but this is the one where you can be static when you're practicing this. And the great way to do this is to basically put yourself into the correct position at impact. So when you're there, what you're going to do is you're going to push your left hip backwards, you're going to move up into your left side, push your left hip backwards, and then just get a feel or a sense of feeling as though that's lining up behind it, as though you're putting that pressure behind the shaft, okay? And just put yourself into that position. All right, and that's what I really want you to do. It's an isometric drill. You're just going to hold that for a second, and then what you can do from here is just literally swing back and swing through. Okay, just make a little swing, just to get a feel for striking the ball in that position. So you're just going to basically just stand there, take your address, move up into your left side a little bit so you can feel the weight into your, or pressure moving into your left heel, push the left leg back to push the hip out the way, and then just get yourself into that feeling here. So my hands will be a little higher, my right arm is behind the shaft. You can probably see the top of my left forearm, hopefully. So I'm in that position here, and my right foot is now rolling onto its side. And that's line of compression. I'm really getting into that position here. So again, I can just make a little back and forth. You'll really get a sensation when you do that, or a feel, and you'll hear that. You'll hear the different noise when you hit it, of the ball hitting the center of the club face, and you'll feel it being almost squeezed away as you do that. It's a lovely thing to feel when you're swinging a golf club, just to feel that motion of getting into that position. Now, you can start to eventually start from that position here. So get the feel of the right arm behind the ball, up onto my left side, going back, and start making longer swings, just to get the feel for that, and start to stretch it out. Once you've got a feel for that, or you think you've got that, then try and move it up into a full swing. I would tend to, if you're working on something, just have a little rehearsal, just feel where that should be. Just put yourself in there just to remind yourself. Once you've done a few swings and you feel confident with that and you're getting the feel for that, you've done a few longer ones, then you can start moving it into a full swing. So what I would tend to do though, if I was you, is I would tend to just put yourself into that position, just to rehearse it and feel it just before you make the stroke. Okay, just to remind yourself where you want it to be, and then you can sort of then move on up to hit a golf ball. Okay, just practice it. It's just a case of just reminding yourself when you're making changes, just rehearse it, just feel it just before you do it. There's nothing in the rules says you can't do that. So just feel that motion, feel that, just put yourself into that position, feel that right arm's lining up behind the shaft, and then try to recreate that. Okay, just keep practicing until it becomes more natural. All right, it's going to be unnatural to start with, obviously. It's never easy to start with, but this line of compression is going to really help you to really get a good strike on the ball. You're going to get that ball then turf connection. All right, but you're also going to stabilize the club face as well. You're going to feel the club face is quite stable when you hit it. So we actually call this line of compression. All right, so this line here all runs it up in and syncs up. It's a great feeling to have once you've got that feeling. So back and through. You're going to really feel it in the swing. It's a beautiful sensation. So I really urge you to give this a try and just a bit of thought. It's the same with all the clubs as well, drivers, wedges, putter even. Just get that feeling of everything lining up behind the ball and compressing as you hit it. Okay. Really gives you that nice flight and nice control of the ball. All right, please give that a try. So there you have it. That's what we call line of compression. It's going to really help you to get a much better strike on the ball, as I promised at the beginning of the video. And again, you can do it with whether it's a 7-iron or whether it's a driver. You can even do it down to a putter. Actually, I urge you to try it with the putter as well. Just feel that right hand line up with the back of the shaft as you hit the putt. You're going to feel a much better strike on the ball. I know it sounds silly, but you'll get a much more centralized strike. And it's a pusher. So the right hand, not only is it a pusher, okay, as we swing through, it's a thrower. All right, so it does a bit of pushing and a bit of throwing. And that's the way we're going to try and teach you to feel this golf swing. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed that video. Again, please remember to like and subscribe. I really appreciate everybody that does. And thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you at the next one.